You've just connected to the Dial-Up Dads, the best podcast where two middle-aged fathers bring you the high-voltage dad wisdom at dial-up speeds. We're talking busted backs, forgotten passwords, and the kid stuff that drive us nuts. Yeah, the name sounds like a hotline for lonely moms, but we're okay with that. So grab your Crystal Pepsi, blast some Mighty Mighty Boss tones, and party like it's 1999. This is the Dial-Up Dads, with your hosts, Joe and Brian.
On to our planned agenda. Yeah, we were going to talk about like how we met, good old stories before we were the fun time fathers that everybody sees before us now. So, you want to talk about your first impression of the gentleman sitting before you?
Sure. Yeah. We met playing soccer. What I really remember is vaguely that first day that you came to the field, practice field, which was the outfield of our baseball diamond.
Yeah.
We had to share it with the football team as well, too. But yeah, I just remember you coming out there and asking if, this is where soccer was. Yeah, absolutely. And I was just excited that we had another player because it was hard to get players on the soccer team. So anytime, being in an inner city school and trying to get numbers for soccer are very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when everyone wants to play football, or they're playing basketball, like AAU or stuff like that. But yeah, so I was just excited that you were, decided to play and seemed like a really good guy. And that's what I really remember the first time we actually met. Don't really remember a lot about the social networks of my high school career. Because you came in after the change from Eastmoor to Eastmoor Academy, right?
It was that change because we were supposed to take over as CAHS 2000 because we were sharing Mifflin Middle at the time. And then I think some of the Eastmoor parents were upset that we were coming over, or I don't know if you guys were going to be kicked out of the school or exactly how that was going to happen, but they decided to migrate the schools.
I can say for sure, sorry to interrupt, but I can say for sure that we were actually, my mom and dad were part of those Eastmoor parents.
Okay.
Actually went to court and everything for that. I think our biggest concern, at least my biggest concern, was if I'd stayed, what was going to happen to the sport, because CAHS doesn't have any sports. CAHS 2000 didn't have any sports.
Right.
We were concerned that all the sports were going to go away, and that was the case, and I had to move schools where I wanted to play.
Yeah, where would you have been, Ridge or Independence, or?
I think it might have been Walnut Ridge.
Okay. My home school was Marion Franklin, so if I wanted to play, I would have had to gone there, which there were some kids my freshman year, which if I remember right, was the only year that CAHS 2000 was actually its own thing. There were some kids who did go and play for Marion Franklin, but just like I didn't do any sports that year. But then when we moved over and became Eastmoor Academy with you guys, then we were able to play for Eastmoor.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, what made you decide to play soccer? Did you play soccer when you were little?
No, the South End of Columbus, soccer did not exist. You just played like pickup basketball or play football with your friends or, whatever. The only thing I did growing up was play t-ball. Played when I was, I think, 7 and 8, and I played in a league that I was actually shouldn't have even been playing in. It was down in Hamilton Township. Played on the Pirates with my cousin who lived down in Obetz. I played my first year. I played in the outfield. Second year, and I moved over to first base. Late in the season, I took a ground ball. As I was about to field it, it bounced off a rock and popped me in the mouth, and that pretty much messed me up fielding balls and things. And I had I was like, I'm done with the hard ball. And I would have moved on to fast pitch the next year. I was like, no, I'm not having this. So that was pretty much it for sports.
I don't like no balls in my mouth.
Nope, no balls in my mouth. So moving from CAHS 2000 to Eastmoor, they gave us the option late spring quarter. They said, hey, you're going to be able to do sports if you want to do it. Me and a bunch of friends, started talking. I was like, hey, do you want to sign up for anything? And some of my friends were like, well, we did soccer in middle school. I was like, well, I didn't do soccer. I was no, because I was a big fat kid. I was like, there ain't no way you're getting me out there and running around. But they all went and signed up. It's like, well, like I'm not going to be the only person not signing up. So I kind of got peer pressured into it. And over summer break, you know, we had the summer reading assignments. Do you remember doing those?
I remember not doing them. One was Angela's Ashes. I actually read a good bit of that book, and the movie was terrible. But yeah, that was one that I was like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing?
Okay. I did not have to do that one. I'm trying to remember what books I had to read going into sophomore year. I remember freshman year we had to read. What's that?
Was Beowulf one of them?
I remember reading Beowulf. I don't remember exactly when.
Okay.
Going into the year, I remember putting it off, and I ended up calling Coach Murphy, and I'm like, "Hey, Coach, it's like, so I'm not going to be able to play this year. I'm not going to be able to make it to summer practices and things."
Why'd you call again?
Coach Murphy.
You know, you just...
I was just trying to get out of it. I was like, I didn't want to play to begin with.
Yeah.
And, but I didn't want to just not show up. And so I call him. I was like, hey, I haven't started on my summer assignments yet. I need to, you know, get working on this. And it's like, I'm not going to have time. He's like, let me stop you there. You need to get out, run an hour a day, get a ball on your foot. I will see you at the first day of conditioning. And I have never met this man. That was the first time I had ever talked to him. Didn't know him from Adam. I could have walked by him a million times on the street and would have never known who he was. And it's like, oh, so this is how it's going to be.
I love it.
So I show up to practice, or I show up to conditioning the first day. I meet you, and like I said, everything's good. It's like I wasn't driving at that time, so my mom, you know, she was my ride, and I immediately noticed.
I remember your mom being there.
Yep. I immediately noticed that out of everybody that I had signed up for soccer with, I was the only one that showed up. So I was a little aggravated about that. And so I went through the day and went home and called everybody, and just kind of, as much as I'm kind of an easygoing person, but as much as I could raise hell at 14 years old, you know, I gave them all a piece of my mind, and they all started showing up, and now, kind of rest is history.
Who out of our friends was that?
Was Ben?
Okay, Ben.
Sam did not. Sam didn't start playing until the year after, and that was after I actually moved to Westerville. Shanty?
I do remember Shanty, yep.
And there were a couple others, but I can't remember.
Picture. I was just going through the albums with my mom a couple weeks ago, and there's a picture of the soccer team. I wonder, I don't think if you were in that one or not. Because when did you go to Westerville?
Junior year. I was only at Eastmoor for 1 year.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it might not have been that year. But I remember Shanty being in one of those pictures, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you show up and you give them hell because...
Yeah, because nobody else showed up.
That's great.
Yeah, I want to say, I know I showed up one day for band practice, marching band, and I think it was that same day, and I was like, no, this is not for me. Because, I mean, I loved playing the trumpet. I started in the 4th grade, but marching band was just not going to happen, and I was like, no.
What was it about marching band? Well, who did we have then? I can't remember who we had. We had some interesting folk. I don't know. Before CAHS, I remember Oppenheimer. That was my boy.
Oppenheimer, that name sounds familiar. I don't know.
Because you might not have been, because you said you didn't do it, right? So, yeah, Oppenheimer was from Ohio State. And he had us, like, marching and making figures on the field. You know, it was pretty cool. It was awesome. A lot of work, though, but it was great. Yeah.
That's it.
No soccer. Well, you did end up doing soccer, but marching band was for you.
Yep.
Well, that's a bummer, man, because, well, I mean, you're already a musician, talented, natural musician, so I guess it's not a big surprise that trumpet was in your history, but you don't play that anymore, huh?
No, I tried picking it up right before we moved here to Pickerington. No, I couldn't make a sound to save my life anymore. It's... It's like, I've lost all mouth dexterity.
Yeah, but you stuck with soccer
Yeah, I did.
for that year.
Yeah, the very first thing I remember Coach saying to me once I got onto the field and after we did our stretches, started doing our lap around the field, his very first words was, "We need to get you in shape," because from the time that I ran from home plate to first base, I was already
Oh, that's great. That's great.
which is probably about the shape I'm back into now, that I might be able to make it to first base.
Oh my goodness, that's great. Yeah, he was a trip, man. Murphy is retired now. He texted me last year, wishing me Happy Father's Day, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was cool. He was a good coach.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. And did you ever remember him coming in on the motorcycle? I just thought that was badass. He would just pull in with his motorcycle for practice.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a good time, man. It was a good time. Yep. And then, we weren't very good.
No.
But it was fun.
It was fun, and I think seeing things from the perspective of playing in the inner city league and then going to a suburban school. I didn't play in the suburban school, but I did. No. And here's why. We played DeSales in the playoffs. I don't remember what the score was.
About Westerville?
No, Eastmoor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That cold ass game in the rain. That was what they stopped keeping score at, like 10-0, 12-0, something like that. Well, Westerville South, the school that I transferred to, they played against DeSales and they beat them 3-2. And I just got thinking, I'm like, I'm not going to be a junior sitting the bench on the JV team. I was like, I got too much pride for that. So, but I did go out for the wrestling team.
Okay.
Because I did wrestle sophomore year, if you can call it that. I wasn't very good at wrestling either, and it's been a lot.
Is that when you got close with Chris?
Yeah, that's when I started getting close with Chris. Yeah.
Who else was on the wrestling team? That was on the soccer team?
Well, it was just us. That's why we got so close, I think, is because everybody else on the wrestling team was football players. Weight-wise, we were pretty far apart. He was down in the 130s. By this time, I was wrestling 189, so we were about 60 pounds apart. So we wouldn't really be drilling, but when it came to like running and things, of course, we had quite a few legs up on the football guys. And a lot of them. Oh yeah. Yeah, they did get me in shape. I actually dropped about 40 pounds during soccer season, and then during wrestling season, I started putting on some more muscle. So all in all, I think by the end of wrestling season, I was down about 30 pounds. So I mean, not bad for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. That's really good. Shoot, I wish I could lose 20 pounds right now.
Yeah, and then need about 100 pounds.
Don't be greedy, Joe.
But yeah, unfortunately, in wrestling, I was pretty injury prone. Sprained a couple ankles, tore my deltoid. That's actually what ended my season. Yeah, that sucked.
Where's your deltoid at?
Oh, I guess that doesn't do anything for anybody who's listening. But it's in your shoulder.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds painful.
It was more irritating than painful because you just can't do anything because anything you do just aggravates it, and you can't use your arms, can't wrestle. And JD, he was also my weight class, so I was getting beat up by him every day anyways, and he was.
And that was the end of your wrestling career? You didn't wrestle at Westerville at all?
I did wrestle at Westerville. I wrestled 189. That was the number 2 guy. I was actually trying to get down to 171. I was wrestling a 189 match. It was going to be my last match before officially going to 171. Got taken down, went down awkward. The same shoulder that I tore the deltoid the year before. I separated it. Yeah, and it was the only thing I can describe it as is, you ever drop like the tablets, plop plop fizz fizz?
Yeah, the Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah, Alka-Seltzer. It's like that was like what my shoulder felt like.
Yeah, Oh man.
And it's like, and it just immediately just the whole arm went dead, and I couldn't do anything with it. Ended up going to the hospital afterwards, getting some x-rays done, and between that and everything else, it's like, I'm not putting my body at risk anymore. And so that was the end.
All right. What did you end up doing at Westerville? Since you didn't play soccer, didn't wrestle anymore, what do you remember what you did, like, as extracurricular activities at all?
Nothing. I felt like I never really fit in Westerville. I had a few friends, but as far as like the core people that I hung out with, it was you, Chris, Ben, your brother, Sam, Sump. From day one in Westerville, it was weird. I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But
why did you move in the first place? We'll come back to that. But
Dad wanted to move us to somewhere for like better advancement. Just move us to the suburbs, better opportunities and things.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, and it's like,
I took one look at Eastmoor Academy and was like, nah.
It's like, no, I can't. Not gonna do it.
So you never felt comfortable or felt at home in Westerville?
Yeah, pretty much. It's gonna sound odd coming from, this melanin deficient fellow here, but the first thing that I noticed when I walked in, I was like, there is a lot of white people here. Being 16 at the time, I didn't know what to do with that information or what questions to ask, or even if there were questions to ask about that. Because like throughout my entire life, it's like I'd gone to primarily black schools. It was like I had yet to learn why are things different between the inner city and the suburbs and things. Day one, it was like I'm looking around, and first off, there's a billion people. I think Eastmoor, we had like 500 people. I'm immediately stepping into a school of 2,000.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be until,
A bunch of white folk.
What's that?
A bunch of white folk is drawing.
Yeah, I mean, seeing him, we're the dangerous ones, right?
I don't think so. I do not come up with a joke. I have had so many diverse group of friends. Like I don't see it that way. But I know everyone has a different history.
Right. And, our group back in high school we were diverse. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was used to. Right. And then I'm going from, all this diversity to amounted to just a group of monochromatic people. And that was, even though I was a part of the monochrome, it was weird. And it wouldn't be until 20 or 15 or 20 years later that I would learn, okay, yeah, this is, how things are, and here's why. It's like, oh, well, that's kind of fucked up. But
what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you look at the history, redlining processes and things from earlier, say in the 1900s, or I'm gonna say the 1900s, that makes it sound like the 1900s, but 1930s, 40s, and 50s and things, and how that developed into the suburban landscapes that led to basically what we have today. And so I'm not saying that's the whole reason, but it definitely got a nice foothold. And it's a big reason why basically these suburbs are full of white folk and the inner city is full of non-white folks. I guess that's the easiest way to put it.
Gotcha. So you saw all these, and it took you time to adjust to that, but not really, because you said you didn't really fit in or feel comfortable.
It's like I had my people, and I'm a pretty introverted person, and I did well enough with people as just a means to an end. It was like I met enough people I need somewhere to eat lunch, so I need a table. So I made like 5 or 6 people friendly enough to where I didn't have to eat by myself.
Right.
A couple people actually I got pretty close with. Out of when I graduated, out of Westerville, one person from Westerville came to my graduation party. Everybody else who came was from Eastmoor.
Right.
It was just enough for survival.
Yeah, and that's tough too, because you went there junior year?
Yeah, junior and senior year.
Oh yeah, it's tough to adjust. I mean, I've never moved before. The schools I went to until I graduated. East Columbus, Eastmoor Middle, Eastmoor Academy. The only thing that changed with that is the high school got turned into academy with hospital and all that. So some of my friends left to go to their home school, like Oliver. And I can imagine how tough that can be, to really make friends or just feel comfortable, feel rooted in a high school where you're only there for 2 years.
Yeah.
And there's so many people there. Because you're right, my wife is just, she's from Walter Canetta, so they had a bunch of people for their graduation. They only have one high school. Columbus has multiple, maybe 10, maybe more. So yeah, it's different because you're in a smaller group in the inner city compared to the suburbs. So.
At the time, we had two in Westerville. We had North and South. My senior year is when they passed the levy to build Central, and then pretty much all the suburbs passed levies that year. A bunch of schools popped up within the next couple of years. We were the smaller of the two schools, and we had 2,000 people. It was my graduating class was 415. I think North they were up over 500.
Okay. I think Eastmoor was maybe 100.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah, just different worlds. It's when I went back to one of Eastmoor's soccer games, because I went more to your guys' soccer games when I was in Westerville, and I went to Westerville's games, and I went and stopped in at the humanities teacher, Mr. Jannings. And he asked me, he's what's the difference between the suburban schools and the inner city schools in 25 words? 25 words? So I'm trying to plot them out.
You count or am I?
I was I tried to answer him. It's I'd only been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say...
White.
It's everybody looks like me. But I think when it comes to particularly with sports, number one is I'm living it right now, is everybody has got to keep up with the Joneses. It's earlier we talked about what I did sports growing up is I did t-ball for 2 years, didn't do anything for 6 or 7 years, and then basically immediately walked on to a varsity spot on a soccer team, having never kicked a ball in my life.
Yeah.
My daughter, we started her, it was just basically just putting a ball on her foot, but she's been playing soccer since she was 2. She's been cheerleading. This is her second year cheerleading, but she's been doing gymnastics for going on 4 years. And it's just if she wants to compete, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, and that's interesting too. Does she want to compete? Does she want to be in those cheerleading competitions? Does she ever watch? Any of those? We've
tried to get her to watch the cheerleading competitions. Getting her to sit down and do anything is near impossible. Yeah. She has said that cheerleading is her absolute favorite thing she's done. She forgot this past year how much she hated soccer. We tried to remind her when she said that she wanted to play. I was are you sure? It's you hate running. She's yeah, I want to play. And then the first day of practice, she was oh. It's yeah, we tried to warn you, but it's once you commit, it's
and now you're going.
Yeah, if you want to stop at the end of the season, that's fine, but you're going to do the whole season. But yeah, she loves gymnastics, but right now cheerleading is her thing. She really likes doing is the programs that we put her in. Once a year, she gets to cheerlead with the high school cheerleaders at one of the home football games, and that's her thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, what about the boys? I know you said that your eldest seems to have rekindled his love of the foot game.
Well, yeah, he wanted to play soccer ever since he was little, which is fine. It was weird because he wanted to play soccer, but he was always playing football by himself. But he never wanted to really play football, which was interesting. But he also, he would go outside and kick the ball too. But he started when he was 3, just doing a little practices or whatever. But, every year we would ask him, okay, what do you want to do this year? You still want to play soccer? You want to do something else? He's always chose soccer. So, and he has said in the past that, he wants to be a professional player and all that stuff, which is great. Kids, their dreams are important. They're real, they're in their mind, I'm going to do this.
Yep.
And that's great. And he's never wanted to stop playing soccer. He played rec, started I-9, and then we got into OSA, which is community soccer here in Hilliard. And he played rec for a couple years, and, the option came to try club. And he was pretty good. He was probably one of the best players on the rec team. So we was like, let's up the challenge and see how he does. And so he ended up doing that. He did tryouts. He did really well. He ended up making, there's 2 tiers. You got the elite and the premier. So he ended up making the elite team, which was great. For him, it was the reality that, at least how I interpreted what I was seeing, he was coming from, being one of the top 2 players on the team to being one of the, at least at first, the bottom 2 in my eyes. As far as like skill wise, you can see that a lot of these club players, had good foot skills. He was really fast, but he didn't have the foot skills. So I think that first year was really tough for him. And I think it was not just technical skill-wise, but, being on a team that pretty new. And also, too, he had friends that were doing club, but they weren't on his team. He was too young because he was born in June. So we could have waited to put him in school, waited a year to put him in school, but ended up putting him in as soon as he turned 5. So his age, in soccer, they do it by age,
right,
or by birth year. But a lot of his friends were on the team above him, which I think kind of bummed him out as well. So last year was a rough year for him. And I think it was eye-opening for us, too, because we know how good he is, how good he can be, and being good and having the skill and then having the mental aspect of it, of feeling comfortable and your awareness around you and knowing where you need to be on the field as it goes with the team. He didn't have that. He had the skill, but he didn't have that awareness. He didn't have that understanding of how this team ran. So this year, he's moved to defense, and he's absolutely loving it.
Okay.
You can just see his confidence has shot up. He knows what he needs to do. His reaction is so much better. And that was building, over the course of the year. So the club that he plays for, there's 2 sessions. He does a fall session and a spring session. And his confidence kind of kept growing as the year went on. But starting this year in the fall, you can see that he's now kind of solidified himself in the team. So, I'm just real proud of him that he never gave up. I don't think he wants to play anything else, which is a bummer. I would like to see him try something in the winter. And he did try flag football once. That was it. He didn't want to go back and do it again.
So, I gotta ask, does the team run an offsides trap?
No. I think that might. They don't run the trap, but they do try to catch teams offside. Okay. Coach does tell our players to move up. He doesn't bring out the goalie like I do. I love the offside trap, and I wish more teams would run the offside trap. That's probably why I couldn't coach, because I would be doing the offside trap too.
Oh man,
it was rough.
Dude. It was. I was always terrified I was gonna be the one to mess it up.
You remember what position you played?
I started at that made up position. Stopper?
Or sweeper?
Sweeper, yeah. Fat guy chased the ball. No, it was fat guy chased the ball. And then that was... And then when I worked my way into the starting lineup, I played left mid.
Okay. I worked my way into the starting lineup.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, man. I busted my butt once I actually got out there. Forget whose spot I took. I can't remember. I remember when Coach told me that I was starting. I was like, what? Like me?
Oh, that's great, man. That's great. My freshman year, there was a guy named Mark. He was playing good.
Okay.
But he was good enough to play on the field, too. So I think, once they got a kid in there that actually wanted to play goalie, they were like, okay, let's put him in. Let's try it. No one else wanted to play goalie, so I pretty much solidified my starting position. Said I would volunteer to play goalie. I want to learn more. So they're like, okay, you're in.
Didn't you play in college?
I made the club team in college because Wright State had, they had their D1 team. I don't know. They didn't have a football team. They had a soccer team. Well, I made the club team, but I didn't have transportation to make the practices in the summer. I'm just going to focus on the academics.
Gotcha.
The car I had was not going to be making back and forth that freshman year. So, but I was okay. It was a different animal, and just the club, playing club, was a different animal. Mm-hmm. I kind of felt like that shock you had when you stepped into Westerville for the first time. Crap, like these guys can play, and they make the goalies run. Like I can't just warm up over here. I gotta run laps. But yeah, so that didn't last long. But yeah, I ended up coaching, coming back to coach Eastmoor this year, and ran into the same issues that, we had with kid numbers and all that stuff. Taking kids that never played before. But it was fun. It was a good experience. I played baseball as well for 3 years. I was kicker for a football team my freshman year. But soccer was really the only thing I wanted to do and stuck with. Even now, I'm officiating games. It's staying with me.
I didn't know you kicked for the football team.
Yeah, my freshman year I did. I didn't get a lot of opportunities. I was there. I think they could see it in my face that I was like, I don't want to be there. Going for 2 then.
Coach. Was that with Coach Oliver?
No, that was with Coach Bohan. Coach Bo.
Okay.
I think it was before your time.
Yeah, that would have been before my time.
Yeah, it was with Coach Bo. When I shook his hand, it was like, this is my hand. Like, hang on, man, you got some big hands. But yeah, I did. That was 1 year.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to think. I don't know when Coach Oliver started then. I know he was the coach the year I was there.
Okay.
He was, for anybody listening that does not know, Coach Reggie Oliver was the quarterback for the Marshall Thundering Herd. He became the quarterback after they had their plane crash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a...
You want to go back and watch the movie now?
Yeah, we are Marshall, and then I think in the early 2000s, there was a ESPN documentary that took place at Eastmoor.
Okay.
I remember them interviewing him and showing some of the the football team doing some practices and things, and he had 2 giant rings. I think one from Marshall, and I want to say one from Alabama, because I think he was on Alabama's staff at one point. Yeah, he was my health teacher my sophomore year. It was the only year I was at Eastmoor. We were playing basketball one day, so I guess he was my health and gym teacher. Tried to save a ball that was going out of bounds, and I stuck my finger right into the ball. And I got up, I was like, man, my hand started shaking my hand, and I go to close it, and I felt that only some of my fingers closed. And I looked down, and my right ring finger is just still pointing up at the ceiling. And I'm like, and so he runs over to me, and he kind of bear hugs me from behind, kind of like he's gonna give me the Heimlich maneuver, and he's just tells me to look away, and I look off to the side, and he just pulls it straight out and pops it right back into place.
Oh man.
And so yeah, that's my Coach O story.
Wow.
But
wow. Well, that's cool that
he knew what to do.
Cool that he did that. Because, if you leave it like that for too long, I would be freaking out. Just do it, man. Just do it now.
Yeah. I was I can still feel I got a nub on the corner of my knuckle. Yeah.
Oh, what is that? Is that cartilage?
I think it's calcium buildup.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, man.
Yeah, I used to wear my class ring because that's what the cool kids used to do, and where I would take it on and off.
That's what Westville kids used to do. I don't think ever got a class ring.
I would take it on and off. Just that nub, it was so deformed where it actually changed the shape of my ring to where it was it wasn't anywhere near a circle. It was kind of an egg, but yeah, it was not an attractive finger at all.
You couldn't be a hand model.
No, not a hand model. That is for certain.
Want to end it here?
I think we're good to go. I think I got lots to play with. Yeah.
All right, bro. Love you, man.
Love you, brother.
All right. Peace.
Later.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us. If you liked what you heard, or even if you didn't, please help us out by leaving a comment, a like, and subscribing. Until next time, we are the Dial-Up Dads.